Hello everyone, my name is Vijay Muthukrishna, Solutions Engineer with Couchbase. Today I'll be talking about Couchbase Mobile Solution Architecture. Before we dwell into the solution architecture itself, I'd like to state that the Couchbase Mobile Stack consists of two products. One is Sync Gateway and the second one is CB Lite. As you can see on the screen, Couchbase Mobile Solution Architecture consists of two parts. On the right hand side of the screen, you see a web tier, and on the left hand, you see a mobile tier. The web tier comprises of a web app, which is basically a business application which is creating and ingesting data into Couchbase server using one of our SDKs. Then we have the Couchbase server, which is our NoSQL database, and then we have Sync Gateway. As the name indicates, the responsibility of Sync Gateway is to synchronize the data back and forth between devices and Couchbase server. Now the data could be a JSON document or a blob or a binary object. Sync Gateway also provides features to partition data based on business rules, exposes hook points so that external systems can tap onto the change feed. It also secures the communication between Couchbase server and CB Lite, and the key advantage is that Sync Gateway's ability to manage document changes. Basically, Sync Gateway can detect document conflicts, reject document updates on detecting conflicts. It will also send back and forth updates, identifying the revision tree, what revisions were previously sent and what needs to be sent now. That is just to name a few. Now the web tier now can be deployed on on-prem environment or on containers or on virtual machines. Now that being said, let's move on to the mobile tier. Mobile tier consists of CB Lite, which is an embedded database which is again part of our mobile stack and can be installed as part of mobile or desktop applications. CB Lite can be deployed on edge devices such as Raspberry Pi or any iOS or Android device, and even on desktop for desktop applications. Usually, applications will package CB Lite along with their apps. Then once the app is installed, the application will open the CB Lite database using CB Lite API and start writing into the embedded database. Now, the second part of the app is to send these changes back to Couchbase server. How do we do that? To accomplish this, application must first create a user with relevant roles, ensuring that he or she can read and write data which is pertaining to their use. We don't want to send the entire data set residing on the server to device, or we don't want to even send data set sections or parts of data which a user is not supposed to see or to use. Now once we establish that, it's time to send and receive updates from Couchbase server. To do this, the application will instantiate an instance of a replicator which is part of CB Lite library, and then pass in the credentials and initiate a push-pull replication. This will then communicate with Sync Gateway to obtain the latest updates of the documents. One key advantage of CB Lite is that the app developers can package a pre-built database when the app starts up, thus avoiding large amounts of data being pulled as part of app startup. Now, coming to the last part, which is security. Couchbase mobile stack is fully secure. Embedded database itself can be fully encrypted on the device with AES 256-bit encryption. The reason why we have this is because on an event of a device being lost or the device being broken, one doesn't have to lose the data. Even if the device is lost, since the database is encrypted, no one can access the data that is on the device. And the communication between CB Lite and Sync Gateway is also secured using WebSockets protocol. So we use a secured WebSockets to establish communication between CB Lite and Sync Gateway. That in essence means the device communicates to Sync Gateway over WebSockets protocol. With the help of the channels and roles, developers can grant fine-grained access controls on the data that is being used by the device. And finally, communication between Sync Gateway and Couchbase is encrypted through TLS certificates. Overall, if you see, Couchbase server doesn't, Couchbase mobile stack basically extends the data to the edge in a fully secured manner. I hope this 5-minute overview was worthwhile. Thank you.